So, by now, you've probably heard of Josh Waugh, a fifth-round pick by the Montreal Canadiens in last year's NHL Draft, who is the top QMJHL scorer right now, and as a result is making his name known amongst many in the Canadiens fanbase as being a steal of the draft. Well, just a few spots behind Josh Waugh in the overall QMJHL points race is another player that I think deserves your attention. This guy has arguably been in the same realm as Josh Waugh when it comes to QMJHL effectiveness relative to their draft position, but in my experience so far this season, he has not had the same spotlight in the slightest. Let's talk today about Riley Kidney out of the Acadie Bathurst Titans in the QMJHL. He is a 19-year-old, 5'11", 168-pound left-handed center who was also drafted by the Montreal Canadiens in the 2021 draft. However, where Josh Waugh was a fifth-round selection, Kidney over here was a second-round pick. In fact, he was taken towards the end of the second round as his overall number position was 63rd overall. When he was drafted by the Canadiens, he was a bare point-per-game player with the Titans, getting 38 points in 33 games played in the regular season. However, his postseason was a tremendous showcase above and beyond what he showed at the regular season, as he had 17 points in 9 games with the Titans there. 2 goals, 15 assists, and he was at 2 points a game pretty much in that playoff stint, and during these games we really saw the skills that made Riley Kidney an attractive player. This is his scouting report back from the Elite Prospects 2021 draft guide. The winger's tools, especially his puck-handling abilities and offensive habits, the way he attacks at a high pace, scans before getting the puck, and receives every one of them in motion, kept us watching over the course of the season. He has real problem-solving skills, to see him bounce the puck off his skates and instantly dangle through defenders. Now, that's all fine and dandy. He was pretty okay for a second-round pick, but this season he has really exploded offensively in a way that a lot of people who watched the playoffs last season are not really too surprised to see. This season with the Titans, you have yourselves Kidney getting 88 points in 58 games played. He is currently on pace for a 101-point season in 67 markers, and he's on pace for 70 total assists. The guy has 61 right now and 27 goals, which is kind of good because he has a lot more assists this season than he had points last season. As we said off the top, Kidney is one of the top QMJHL point producers as well. He is 4th in the league just behind Perron, William Dufour, and Josh Waugh, the aforementioned Montreal Canadiens 5th-round pick. But the thing with Kidney is that in all the areas that Josh Waugh lacks, you could say that Kidney makes up for them too, while also having his own skills and unique characteristics. Josh Waugh is a good point producer, he's a good sniper, he's a good playmaker. But when it comes to Josh Waugh, a lot of people will question his engagement, his level of activity within the actual play when he doesn't have the puck, and the intensity to his game. But Lyco, why are people going out there and questioning how good he is when he's producing 100 whatever points? Well, it's because the QMJHL, as we kind of have known over the past few years, is not really the best junior league of the three. It's definitely one of the more defensively lax leagues to be playing in. And so even though Waugh is going out there and shooting the lights out, it's not a guarantee that he's going to be, the next Claude Giroux or the next Nathan McKinnon or whatever, because you have a lot of QMJHL guys who can produce like crazy, but who don't really put it all together as they get to higher levels of play. It really just depends on the individual situation here. So, for Kidney, his gameplay in the offensive zone is a tad different. As the scouting report said, he's really shifty. The guy has an aspect to his game that Josh Waugh just doesn't really have, and if I had to label it in one word, I would say it's that exciting factor. When Riley Kidney gets going in the offensive zone, it's not infrequent to see him shifting left and right, quickly going around a guy. He's not afraid to drop the puck down to his feet and then kick it back up to his stick to deceive other players. He's got a really nice combination of agility, creativity, and, as I said, that wow factor, that excitement level that Josh Waugh somewhat lacks in his game. Here's the scouting report on Kidney on Dobber Prospects, a very crafty forward that uses his high-end puck skills to create offensive opportunities for himself and his teammates, and for the April 2022 update, so the recent one, written by Sebastian, Kidney has produced very well in his Draft +1 season in the QMJHL on an excellent Acadie Bathurst team. Building upon his hot streak in last year's playoffs, Kidney is a talented playmaker with good hands and skill. He has scored his fair share of highlight reel goals this season, but concerns about his projectability remain. While Kidney has the skill to exploit QMJHL level defense, he relies upon the extra time and space he will not have at the pro level. He is also pushed to the perimeter in the offensive zone in almost every possession. Struggling to attack the middle against weak defenses of the QMJHL demonstrates Kidney's biggest hurdle in transitioning his offensive skill and production to the next level. However, if he is able to adapt his game and learn to attack the middle with his hands and his playmaking ability, he has the upside to turn into a creative second-line player. That's also one of the things that I wanted to wait until reading the scouting report to talk about here as well. When you watch Kidney in the offensive zone, he will very frequently just go around and around and around in circles on the perimeter. He'll dangle a few guys once in a while, but it's not as common as you would probably want it to be to see him cut past a guy into the middle and create an offensive chance that way. He waits for passing opportunities for teammates, and he uses his skill to exploit those spaces, but it's the QMJHL, and as we've said, their defensive ability is not really the best when it comes to the junior leagues, so guys that hold onto the puck a lot and that use the time and space they're given very well, like Riley Kidney, like even a more extreme example, Alexis Lafreniere, it's difficult to see when they go over to higher levels of play and they don't have the same open ice opportunities to hold onto the puck and just wait a little bit more before making their move. That was one of the biggest adjustments that Alexis Lafreniere has still not fully conquered yet, that in the QMJHL he could just hold onto the puck, do what he needed to do because there wasn't really all too much intensity on opposition. They wouldn't really clog up the middle too much for him, they wouldn't get onto him as much as they would in the NHL. In the National Hockey League, heck, even in the AHL, there's less time, there's less space, the guys are faster, the guys are more intense, they're not going to give you an easier opportunity to walk right in like the QMJHL defense cores usually do. So for Riley Kidney, even though he is a very gifted, very offensively creative, very skilled player with the puck on his stick, he plays a game that makes you go, wow. The question is he going to get to a point where in the AHL, for example, in Laval, he can use those skills to maneuver around defense cores that are not giving him that much space and adapt on the fly to make sure he can still execute these creative moves without losing the puck or allowing the play to die on his stick. Such a transition will allow him to do very well in higher levels of play, whether that's the AHL or potentially even the NHL, but one thing's for sure, when it comes to his overall skill set, if he maxes out and if he plays as well as he's doing in the QMJHL in those higher levels of play, this is going to be a very exciting, very talented player that a lot of fans are just going to buy tickets for because they want to see him play. You see how Connor McDavid is able to go out there and bring people to their feet with his end-to-end rushes. You see how Cale Makar is able to dominate a power play with his stride, how he's able to spin around guys, go back and forth, etc. Riley Kidney, while not being the fastest guy in the world, has so many little skills that he does, little tuckbacks with the puck, or he leaves it for his skate and kicks it back up to himself to get around a guy, that he's an absolute treat to watch. So for anybody who is going out there looking for some fun QMJHL action, then hey, the Acadie Bathurst Titans are a good team right now, and the best player on that squad, Riley Kidney, is indeed a Montreal Canadiens prospect. So if you are indeed from the area, let me know in the comments all your thoughts about what I had to say here about your guy. Do you think the transition for Kidney as he goes into higher levels of play is going to be easy? I personally don't, but obviously I'm on the guy's side and I want to see him do well. It's just a very legitimate concern that I do think needs to be discussed when you talk about Kidney and the success he has had. In the same way where Josh Waugh has his flaws and things that bring him down as a prospect, Kidney has his own as well. But of course, there are so many projectable and good things towards this game too, that if Kidney does become, let's say, a middle-of-the-pack kind of second-line player that helps out scoring 40-50 points in a season, that certainly is great value for a second-round pick. Plus, we haven't said this the entire video, but the guy's name is Riley Kidney. Like, come on, that's a cool name, right? Kidney? Try to find somebody else whose last name is the name of an organ, and you could probably make a pretty good anatomy line right there or something, I don't know. Let me know in the comments all your thoughts, though, about Kidney and his overall projection. Where do you think this guy is going to end up in the long-term future of the Canadiens? Where do you see his game going after the QMJHL? Do you think he's going to be an immediate AHL impact player, or do you think there's going to be some growing pains there before he really settles in? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.